For you today. Is your comfort zone shrinking or expanding? It's either or, but it damn sure ain't neither nor. DJ, cue it up. All right, TSL, welcome to another edition of The Sales Life. And The Sales Life is just not for those in the sales profession. It is for those who are building the life skills of selling. So if you see the red box, that's for everybody in life who is actually, because sales is a life skill, man. It's not just a profession. And that's why I say in the tagline, man, some of us, the profession is sales, but selling is a life skill. Because no matter what your situation is in life, people often ask me, what is a sales life, man? It's so that you never have a settle mentality, because you always have to sell your way through life, no matter what the situations are. And sometimes you're doing well and you got to move up. And sometimes, man, you got skidded across life's floor, but I don't want you to stay down either. So welcome to another edition of The Sales Life. I am your host, Marsh. If this is your first time here, man, welcome. If you've been here before, man, you've seen this old bald head before, well, welcome back. I got a good one for you today, man. Richard Fenton, author, and man, I meant to grab the book. It's somewhere behind me. Co-author of the book, Go for No. He wrote it with his wife, Andrea Waltz. And Richard was on a recent podcast. And I saw it. Andrea posted it on Twitter, and I was just curious about it because I'm a big fan of their work. So I clicked on the podcast and I started listening to it. I was driving down the road. I think it was in Houston, and he said something, man. It was one of those moments where I actually had to stop, swerve. And I had to back it up 10 seconds and say, what did he just say? And he said this. He said, one thing about your comfort zone is it never stays the same. Your comfort zone is either shrinking or it's expanding. Let me say that again. Your comfort zone never stays the same. It's either shrinking or it's expanding. It's either or. But it damn sure ain't neither nor. And many times we have that shrink talk, right? And so the shrinking is when you use phrases like, I'm good. You ever hear somebody who says, and maybe you're one of those persons who says that, and you say, no, man, I'm good. That's a don't rock the boat kind of mentality. And so when you're using words like I'm good, it's shrink talk. So you're shrinking into your comfort zone. So what you end up doing is I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to make things worse, right? But you're not going to make it any better either. And so a quick test for you to ask yourself. I love these little litmus tests in life. And I love this because when you show up today and you get called out, you get called up, you have a situation in front of you, whatever, you have a challenge, you may view it even as a threat. Ask yourself this question. Right now, am I playing to shrink? Or am I playing to expand? Because, bro, expansion is the only way. Think of it like this. Think of it as you and I. We got, 100 acres of beautiful rolling hills, lush green hill. I mean, it's got ponds on it. I mean, dude, it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And so I walk somebody out there and I show them this 200 acres that I have. And I say, right here, I'm gonna build this tiny house, this little bitty house. And you look at me and you're like, wait, say that again? I'm like, yeah, right here, underneath this tree, I'm gonna build this little tiny house, 1 bedroom. And you're gonna look at me and you're gonna say, Marsh, you have all this land, all this possibility, and you're gonna put a tiny house here? And I say, yeah. And you ask me why? It's because I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So I'm gonna build just enough. And that's a lot of what we do in our lives, is we have all this availability for expansion. Yet everything we do, everything we talk about is all about shrinking. You can't shrink your way into greatness. And you talk that shrink talk when you say, it's okay. Your mind's always searching for okay. It's always trying to let you off the hook. Negotiations always go on and on and on with your mind with, it's okay. It's begging you to say, it's okay. You have that shrink talk when you say things like, it's good enough. Maybe tomorrow. I'll double up. I'll start Monday. Or you're even shrinking. Your comfort zone is shrinking if you start being selective with your customers. Which customer, I think this one can buy. I think this one can do something. See, that's shrink talk. So what you're doing is you're playing very selective, or you're also shrinking if you're being judgmental. And the judgmental side is when you're sitting there and you're saying, I could do that. But you're not. You're not, because you're standing in judgment, looking at someone else who is in the expansion business. And you sit there and you're shrinking. None of those talks. I'll double up. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next Monday. Being selective. It's good enough. It's okay. See, none of those talks are outward pushes of expansion. And I think the comfort zone has gotten a bad rap. I think sometimes we think that with the comfort zone, like it just is what it is, right? But it's not. And you gotta listen to what Richard Fenton said. Your comfort zone never stays the same. Understand that. If you take nothing from this episode, understand your comfort zone never stays the same. It's either or. It's either shrinking or it's expanding. And what is it that you're doing right now that is causing some sort of motion? You getting smaller or are you getting bigger? And so your comfort zone, man, if you design it in such a way, we talked about this in episode 418. We're on episode 632. So you got some catching up to do. But in episode 418, man, I talked about Michael Jordan in his comfort zone. And he practiced like he played, and he played like he practiced. George Mumford, the mentalist coach for him, said, every time I watch Michael Jordan in practice, he practiced as if he was trying to make the team. One of the greatest players ever. And he practiced as if he was trying to make the team. He said, Mumford said, because Jordan knew what it felt like to be cut. And he wanted to make sure he pushed himself so hard in such a way that he made sure that he was always expanding. So he designed his comfort zone in such a way that the play, no matter what was on the line, was a natural extension of what he was already practicing. He was in the expansion business. And many times, man, when you have to show social proof to someone that you once used to be a top gun, a top producer. You were once in shape. You were once a baller. You were once, you had all this kind of success. If you have to show an unbeliever social proof of what you once were, what you're really showing them is these were the times that I was expanding my comfort zone. And today, I stand before you, shrunken. I had one of those mornings recently, and it was dark. It was cold. It was 5. I'm walking the dog, and I just asked God. I said, God, sometimes I just want what normal people have. I want to be like normal people and wake up an hour before work. Just roll up, get in the shower, go to work. I want to get off at 5 like normal people. I want to have weekends off like normal people. I want to set salary. I want to know for sure what I'm making instead of commission like normal people. And God spoke back to me. He said, if you want what normal people have, then at the very best, you can expect normal people results. If you want to do what normal people do, then expect at the very best in life to have normal people results. And being in the expansion business, when you expand your comfort zone, it's got nothing to do with normal. And really, your comfort zone isn't comfortable at all, is it? Because it's always stretching. It's always being expanded. And so that's where you take the extra and you apply it to your ordinary. You come with a box of talent, all of us. But see, in that box, there's no skill. That's the extras that you have to apply a skill. You have to learn that skill, expand that skill to apply to your talent. And you add the extra to your ordinary. But that's the only way you get extraordinary results. Are you shrinking or are you expanding your comfort zone? Because it's never going to be the same. And so if you play to expansion, you'll end every single day because you apply the extra toward the ordinary to get extraordinary results. See, most people, they shrink into a life full of regrets, but not you. You expand. And so you get the privilege, and I say privilege, you get the privilege that you can end every single day satisfied, but not content. Satisfied in knowing that you pushed yourself hard, that you played in expansion, that there were challenges before you and you took it on. You get that. You get that privilege. And so you finish satisfied, knowing it's a job well done. See, the difference between satisfied and content, it ain't the same. Satisfied means that you fulfilled an obligation. Content means that you want no more. And when you play with expansion, when you're expanding your comfort zone, you're playing so that you can get to the end of the day satisfied that even if I failed, even if I didn't get the results that I wanted, even though I'm frustrated, even though it seems like I'm losing, when I get those situations, I'm satisfied because I know I pushed, I expanded, I stretched myself even further. I always say this, and people don't understand when I say this. You can't handle more until you can't handle more. See, everybody wants more, but you can't handle, you got to get to a point where you can't handle, it's almost overwhelming to the point where you feel like just mentally and physically you're going to break. But that is the beginning of new expansion. And so you can't handle more until you can't handle more. So something life puts so much on your plate where, oh my God, I can't even hold it. I feel like I'm just going to split in two. And the next day you come back to it and you're able to handle it. I've had workloads piled on me that I felt like, man, I'm going to go under. I'm about to crack. And 3 months later, it's just normal. It's a new normal because I'm constantly expanding my comfort zone. You got to have that MIT, man, that master's in training. Anybody ask you what college you went to? I went to MIT. I'm continuing my education in MIT because I am constantly working to expand because I got a master's in training. So the question that I'm in with, where you stand right now, man, in your comfort zone? Is it expanding or is it shrinking? It's either, but it damn sure ain't neither. Time to get back in the expansion business and stretch yourself to greatness. Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is a sale you on you, because you're more than enough. Leave your comments. If you're watching this on the video, I'd love to hear from you. Tag me on all the socials with your takeaways from today's episode. Always appreciate it as well if you will share this episode with someone else. You guys take care. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.